10 toes down, I'ma ride with the gang. My whole life I've been doing my thing. Get that money, ain't no thing. Anything I do for the gang. 10 toes down, I'ma ride with the gang. My whole life I've been doing my thing. Get that money, ain't no thing. Anything I do for the gang. Anything I do for the gang. Took those L's and I took that blame. All money in, we ain't copping no change. Feel like Ice Cube, cause a dead good day. Don't need 3 whips, don't need no raise. I'ma keep it simple in the Chevy I skate. Thank the Lord every time I wait. Lace my shoes and I get to that cake. Heads up, I'm coming. This is all we ever wanted. Go and stack it by the hundreds. This is all we ever wanted. 10 toes down, I'ma ride with the gang. My whole life I've been doing my thing. Get that money, ain't no thing. Anything I do for the gang. 10 toes down, I'ma ride with the gang. My whole life I've been doing my thing. Get that money, ain't no thing. Anything I do for the gang. Pedal to the floor, to the engine. Head up in the clouds when I levitate. We don't spit game, we just educate. 10-10-80, had a paper straight. Couldn't get it back then, so I had to wait. Now the money come to me, so I don't have to chase. I don't gotta flash nothing, I don't gotta fake, darling. We not practicing, we ballin'. And heads up, I'm coming. This is all we ever wanted. Go and stack it by the hundreds.
Yo, 10 toes down, I'ma ride with
Hands up, I'm coming. This is all we ever wanted. Go and stack it by the hundreds. This is all we ever wanted. I'ma ride with the gang. My whole life I've been doing my thing. Get that money, ain't no thing. Anything I do for the gang. 10 toes down, I'ma ride with the gang.
What up? All right. We got NFL Week 6 to break down. The NBA is less than 2 weeks or a week and a half away. We got Boots Ennis knocking someone out in the first round. Is he the best fighter at 154? I want to get into that too later on. I also want to get into Baker Mayfield's comments about Michael Vick. They got Baker Mayfield for MVP right now. So I don't know how that turns out, but I just wanted to talk about the NFL real quick. You got the Chargers gave the Lions a beat down in a little scuffle tuck place. Them dudes was fighting. Fight broke out between the Lions and the Chiefs. The Chiefs are back on a winning streak, and the Eagles look like they're not on a winning streak. That's a problem. So, with that being said, my Eagles lost to the Giants. We got beat down by the Giants. Then we gave the first game away of the week. So we lost 2 games. We lost 2 games in a row. One on Sunday, one on Thursday. So my Eagles go and do it. You can't go too much losses in the NFL, right? 1 or 2 losses could cost you a spot in the playoffs. It could stop you from making the playoffs as well. NFL games is a short season, so you have to win the games as much as you can, right? So it is what it is on that aspect. But that Chiefs and Lions game was really weird. I mean, that fight breaking out. But you got to take your hat off to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers too. But I want to talk about Baker Mayfield's comments about Michael Vick. Okay, so they had him at the podium. He was talking. They had an interview, and they said something with like, do you ever think your name will be mentioned in the same sentence or the same breath as Michael Vick? And he was like, hopefully this will be like the last time and it won't have to be mentioned again. Now, at first, I'm thinking maybe he's paying homage to Michael Vick as a football player. But then I look at it, that kind of sounds disrespectful. It's like, don't you ever compare me to Michael Vick. Now keep in mind, Michael Vick was a good quarterback. He didn't win us a championship in Eagles Nation, but I'm an Eagles fan. So Michael Vick meant a lot to Eagles fans, right? He was a Showtime, entertaining, and You know, he helped put my Eagles on the map, help us compete. But I don't know if those Baker Mayfield comments was respectful or disrespectful. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out. It could have been just like disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? But Baker Mayfield's having a good season. And yes, he is an MVP candidate. And I'm also proud to see that the Dallas Cowboys took a loss. I couldn't have it. I couldn't have the Dallas Cowboys winning, the Giants winning, and my Eagles losing. We're in the same division, so we got to make sure them other teams lose. You know, and at the same time, we got to get some wins. We got to get back on a winning streak. We lost 2 games in a row. You know, but if y'all heard Baker Mayfield's comments at the podium against Michael Vick, what's he disrespecting Michael Vick? That's a good question. Acquiring minds want to know. You know what I'm saying? We want to know, did you disrespect Michael Vick? You disrespect the homie Michael Vick. You know, I know he had his off-court troubles, right? But he is an Eagle. I have his jersey. He's somebody that represents for the town, represents for the team. So shout out to Michael Vick. But Baker Mayfield, come on, man. Give Michael Vick his props. You may not like the guy off the football field, but if they're comparing you to Michael Vick for just even a split second of football greatness, just take it. Just say, hey, cool. You know, I got a running game just like Michael Vick. I'm just as athletic as Michael Vick. You can say stuff like that and then keep it moving, right? That's what you could do. Simple as that. Speaking of albums being released out, Big L has an album releasing out on Halloween. Mobb Deep's new album is nothing short of one of the best albums of the year. If you're a hip-hop fan, listen to the Mobb Deep album. Listen to the Mobb Deep album. It's nothing short of greatness. It is a great album. All right? Great album. Nas is on it. Raekwon is on it. Ghostface is on it. It's real hip-hop, y'all. It's real hip-hop. Y'all need to check that out. It's real hip-hop. Plain and simple. So, y'all need to check that out. Real hip-hop. Popping. You know, so, man, I was out of it a little bit. I didn't thought I was going to make it today. I thought I was going to, like, really sleep. I worked, like, 6 days this week. I was working every day this week. It was a very long schedule. I worked, you know, but all those, if you heard my story from last week about the scammers that was sending me stuff, I took all of their stuff and sell most of it. I'm still got some more stuff to go. You know, I'm getting to a point where I just want to take this stuff off my hands and get rid of it, you know. So I'm hoping to get rid of that. So I'm going to take the items that I sell from the scammers and get a Legion Go. I want what's that called? A Lenovo Legion Go. Lenovo Legion Go. I want that, the very first one. I want. But I may not want it used. I don't like used items. You know, I like my electronics to be brand new. You know, so, you know, and for some reason, I got a Legion Go laptop, and for some reason, some guy just keeps constantly hitting me up for this item. He really wants it. You know, at some point, I'm kind of getting skeptical, because if somebody really wants something, you start to be like, why does this guy want this item so much? You know? And why is he like coming to me so much for the item? You know? So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of like really tricky. Right now I'm gonna look up the price of this laptop and see. Maybe I undersold it. Maybe it's actually worth more than what I selling it for, or I have it posted up for. That's why he's probably like, you know what? I got to get it from this guy, because the The one that he's selling is like legit, you know. So let me see how much it is brand new. No, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, I think that's it right there. Oh, okay. Now I see why. It's for like basically it's like $1,000. It's $1,000 laptop. It's $1,000 laptop. So a 1,000 to 1,300. Let's put it that way. 1,300 to 1,000. You know. Huh. Hmm. Okay. All right. Now I see why. Now I see why. Okay, I wanted to figure out why he wanted this item so much. So after doing research on it, I see. I see. Because everybody else is selling it for like such and such, like $1,000 at the most. You know. So yeah. You know. And I guess I'm doing him a favor because technically this item is not worth the amount that it's that that it is. It is what it is. You know, I may have to hit him up and say, you know what? I don't think I want to let this item go for 900. It got to be $1,000 or more because that's how much it is in the store. And he keep coming to me, so maybe I undersold myself. I undersold that item, so I had to correct and fix those things on that end after doing some research. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my Eagles, man. We getting our ass kicked. We lost 2 games in a row. NBA season 2 weeks from now. Are you pumped up for that? Are you pumped up for that? You heard what Baker Mayfield said about Michael Vick. Now, Michael Vick is a former Philadelphia Eagle, so put some respect on Michael Vick's name. Even if you are compared to him or you feel like you're better than him, that's fine. But don't disrespect the man. Why are you disrespecting Michael Vick for? As a football player, he still was a good football player. Very athletic, great in the pocket passer. He was great. That's why. So I may have to tell him, hey, if you want this item shipped out tomorrow, pay that $1,000, son. Pay that $1,000. Simple as that. Pay that $1,000 if you want this item shipped out immediately. Because everybody else is selling this for like nothing less short than 1,000. I'm the only guy that's selling it. Everybody else is selling this item used. Even used is for $1,000. See, even an open box is $1,000+. Um, huh. I may have to do something about that, son. I may have to hit him up. I don't like underselling items for, even though the item cost me nothing. I got it basically free because I scammed the scammers. They try to put one on me and I scammed them, and they can't get their shit back. So I'm just gonna sell it. But if the item normally for 1,000 and I'm selling it for 900 with the eBay what you call it, selling fees, I'm probably looking at about like 800. So I'm selling it like at a loss, you know, selling it at a loss because nobody else is buying this laptop for that price. Yeah, that Seahawks game was pretty good too. Seattle Seahawks game was pretty good. You know, a little breakdown of the NFL games this week. You know, if you watching NBA basketball, two of the California teams was playing. The Lakers was playing Golden State again. Denver was playing Los Angeles Clippers. That felt like a regular season game. The Joker scored like 22 points. The Joker played a lot of minutes for a regular season preseason game. I mean, a preseason game, not regular season. What the hell I'm even mentioning regular season for? Denver beats the Giants. That was a bit of a doozer. The Seattle Seahawks game beating Jacksonville. That was solid. The Los Angeles Chargers beating the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins is sorry this year. They're trash. Flat out trash. LA Rams beating the Ravens. The Ravens going to have a bad year. They're done. The Ravens are done this year. Miami's done this year. That's two teams you could stick a fork in them. They're done this year. And the Colts keep continuing to win. They beat Arizona 31-27. The Panthers 30-27. You know, the Patriots 25-19. Steelers 23-9. They beat. I was watching that game. The Steelers beat the Browns 23-9. The Browns is going to be a shitty team this year. The Ravens 10. The Titans lose to the Raiders. It was like 20-10. That was a good one. The game I was talking about with the Baker Mayfield being the MVP candidate, they beat San Francisco. You know, Titans suck. The Packers got the win over Cincinnati. You know, and Kansas City is back to winning ways. I don't like that, but they're back to winning ways. And tomorrow, I got the Bills beating the Atlanta Falcons. You know, you said number one pick again. Yeah, man. You know, but hey, Octavius, your team is doing bad. My team is doing bad right now. You know, Eagles can't afford to keep losing games. Losing one I'm okay with losing the first one. But the second one, I thought we could at least split it 1-1. We can't keep losing games. We can't keep losing games. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is on that aspect. You know. But, yeah, I'm kind of pissed off. I'm selling myself short, you know, because I'm actually taking a hit. You know, and it's funny because the guy was asking me, I said, just pay the price that you see on the listing. I should have just charged you for that. $1,000, you know, I would have took that. Even if I did it with the $1,000 and it was a fee, I would have at least got, and then I would have just took $100 loss. I got like 900, you know. So yeah, selling myself short. Kind of pissed off at that. But hold on. But do y'all think Baker Mayfield was dissing Michael Vick? I think he did. You know, I didn't get where that comment from. Do they have beef? I don't remember Baker Mayfield and Michael Vick having beef. You know, but I wonder what the NBA season is going to be like this year. You know, I made the video about the new rules. It benefits jump shooters. Steph Curry's going to have a great year. He's going to be to the free throw line a lot this year because they changed the rules to help jump shooters even more. You know, I hope they don't implant this rule in the playoffs. At least let them be physical in the playoffs. If you just want guys scoring a lot of points in the regular season, you want a lot of fool's gold, go ahead, do that. Because we know regular season and playoffs, two complete different things. And sometimes you get a little more freedom in the regular season to score a lot of points to look better than you're going to look in the postseason. You know, you ever see a player look good in the regular season, then when the postseason comes, you're like, hold up. He ain't as dominant in the postseason as he is in the regular season. That's because it's a half-court game. They plan for you more. And I hope the referees, I hope the NBA allow these guys to be physical more. I hope they let the game be 50-50 split. I really do, because I don't want to see a basketball game where the offensive player gets to do whatever the hell he wants, and the defensive player is fucking trapped to do nothing. You know. Adrian Peterson or Marshawn Lynch. That's a hard one, man. That's a hard one. Oh, man. That's a hard one. I'm going to have to think about that one. Because I like both. I like both as football players. But, yeah, the NBA is going to be a free-for-all with jump shooters. If you're a guy that shoots the three, you're going to have more freedom to shoot the three now. You know, they're always changing the rules every single year. Always changing the rules. The high five rule, that's the name of the rule. The high five rule, that's the new rule. And I think the other one is, I forgot the name of the other rule. But there's two rules, and both of them benefit the shooter in the NBA. As simple as that. So it's going to be more scoring for jump shooters. The NBA looks like they just want to put clamps on guys that play defense. And it's funny because the teams that win championships are the ones that play defense. OKC was the ranked number one in defense in the postseason. You seen what they did to people defensively. They literally shut people down. It was like a pack of wolves stealing the basketball from people. Setting traps, double team. The minute you put the ball down on the floor, they were swiping at it and they was taking the ball away from you. That's how good OKC was on defense, and they won the championship. Defense wins championships. There's a reason why we say that. I understand offense is important, but defense leads to offense. Offense will never lead to defense. You can't score then play good defense. It don't work that way. But defense could lead to easy scoring, like a layup or a dunk. The Detroit Pistons went to the finals twice, and they were basically all defense-minded. Barely had a closer, but their defense was so good, it was good enough to win them a championship and go to the NBA finals twice. The Boston Celtics won a championship. They were top 3 in defense. Everybody that wins a championship is up there in defense. Do the math. The stats don't lie. The numbers don't lie. All I know is teams that play defense are the teams that 90% of the time win a championship. You can't tell me a team that's all offense that don't play a lick of defense that wins championships. Ask Carmelo Anthony how that goes. Ask Charles Barkley how that goes. Even the superstars that don't play defense don't win championships. Let's talk about it. How many championships Charles Barkley got? None. How many championships Carmelo Anthony got? None. All these offensive-minded basketball players that don't play defense never won a championship. How many championships James Harden got? None. How many championships Steve Nash got? None. How many championships Mike D'Antoni got, the coach, for coaching all offensive teams? None. Denver Nuggets, when they won championship, top defensive team in the league. The Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis, when they won a championship, top defense in the league. Golden State Warriors, when they won with Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, top defense in the league. How come all these offensive-minded players don't win jack shit? How many championships Dominique Wilkins got? How come all the defensive-minded players got championships? Kawhi got championships. Michael Jordan got championships. Scottie Pippen got a championship. Ron Artest got a championship. Kobe Bryant got a championship. These are all defensive-minded players. Guys that actually play defense two-way. Even if they all are. Bill Russell got championships. D Wade got championships. One of the best defensive two guards of all time. Defensive-minded, two-way basketball player. How come all the greats that win championships play defense? Even with the players. Do the math. I'm not making this up. Just look it up. Everybody that played defense is the ones that won championships. Do the math. Do the math and look it up. I ain't lying. I'm telling you the absolute truth. How many Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars and fucking Dennis Rodman all got championships because they played defense. Everybody got championships that play defense. Hold on for a minute. I got a little. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Hold up. Okay. Sorry, I had to handle that for a minute. I'm back. All right. Was my mic on mute? Milk. Was my microphone muted? Did you still hear me talk when I was talking? See, people always call me when I'm doing something, getting stuff off the chest. But come on, man. Defense wins all the time. Even in football, defense means a lot. Because if you can't get stops, even in football, you're barely going to win. Defense is so important in sports, man. It's like the number one aspect to winning in sports. How are you going to win if you don't play defense? Offense is good, but offense has limits. Offense could be maintained. Offense could go on a on and off streak. And I always say this. What good is offense if you're giving up the same amount of points on the other end? If I could score on you and I play defense, but all you do is just shoot and score, I'm going to beat you. Because even if you shoot and score on me, you're going to give up the same amount of points, if not more, than I'm doing on you. But there's going to be a couple of times where I stop you 2 to 3 times. And those 2 to 3 stops is going to cost you the game. Because you can't get stops yourself. That's why defense is so important. Yeah, but Jimmy Butler went to the NBA Finals twice just based off defense, even though his team wasn't championship contending. Even all scoring offensive teams don't go to the finals. So even if you play defense, you got at least a chance to go to the NBA Finals or win a championship. I'm glad you mentioned Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler went to the finals, led his team to the finals. James Harden never led a team to the finals. Only time James Harden been to the finals when he was playing with KD and Russell Westbrook, and KD was playing defense, and that team was playing defense. Russell Westbrook was playing defense, stifling defense at that. James Harden, as a superstar or an all-star, has never led a team to a NBA Finals because he don't play a lick of defense. I mean, look it up. Just do the history of guys that play defense. 90% of them go to the 90% of them go to the NBA Finals or win. For Jimmy Butler to go to the NBA Finals twice with that roster that he had is oppressive. That's oppressive for a guy to go to the finals with that roster. That's impressive. And Jimmy Butler beat all the top teams in the Eastern Conference. Every team in the Eastern Conference lost to Miami and vice versa, but he beat all the top teams just simply by playing defense. Milwaukee, Boston, Miami beat them all. The only team they couldn't beat was the teams in the Western Conference. That was it. You know, so I'm glad you mentioned Jimmy Butler, because I can't think of a guy that's all these good defensive-minded players win championships. Draymond Green got 4 of them. So you could make a case if Draymond Green is not there to be hard body and get stops and help the team win the championship, Steph Curry may not have no championships. Not saying Steph Curry don't play no defense, but he ain't defensive minded like Draymond Green. So let's just leave it at that. So without Draymond Green, I doubt Golden State Warriors will have championships. At least they won't have at least 4. Steph Curry could have been an exception to the rule. But if history proves anything, offensive-minded players don't win championships. Guys that don't play defense don't win championships. Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers went to the NBA Finals. You know, that's how I don't think the Lakers going to win the championship, Octavius. LeBron don't get no stops. And Luka don't play no defense. Lakers still don't got a good defensive basketball team. They got good offense, but that offense don't mean shit if you ain't getting no stops. Austin Reeves don't play no defense. They ain't got nobody to play no defense. They can't get no stops. You cannot win without getting stops. You got to get stops. You got to play defense. I don't care what nobody say. No team in the NBA is going to win the championship without playing no damn defense. And if that's the main criteria, if history shows us anything, you got to play defense. Even in boxing. Boxing is a one-on-one sport. But the guys that win mostly are defensive-minded boxers. Hit and don't get hit. Why isn't in all sports defense is arguably the most important aspect of sports? Floyd Mayweather is considered one of the greatest boxers of all time. What was he? Defensive-minded. Muhammad Ali was also defensive-minded. You don't realize that. The rope-a-dope is a defensive tactic. He was a defensive fighter first before he knocked you out. Pernell Whitaker, the defense. All the great boxers were defensive-minded. Sugar Ray Leonard was defensive-minded. Bernard Hopkins was defensive-minded. Yeah, Mike Tyson don't have no much defense, but Mike Tyson ain't the top heavyweight of all time. No disrespect, but Mike Tyson ain't the top heavyweight. It is what it is. Mike Tyson ain't the greatest heavyweight of all time, and that's one of the reasons why. Because Mike Tyson lost all his big fights. He lost all the fights against the elite boxers. That was his legacy fights. He lost all his legacy fights. That's a fact. Muhammad Ali didn't lose all his legacy fights. Floyd Mayweather didn't lose his legacy fights. Sugar Ray Leonard won his legacy fights. Yeah, see? You can name the sport. All the defense is the guys that win mostly. I'm not lying. I'm just telling you the truth. Look it up. Like, literally. Think of all the greats of sports. They all guys that play defense. Not saying Mike Tyson isn't great, but Mike Tyson never reached his full potential because he didn't play no defense. He didn't get no stops. No. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's a good fighter, but Manny Pacquiao ain't the best fighter of the generation. And he got knocked out a couple of times because he don't play no defense. He lost his legacy fights. He lost a lot of his legacy fights. He lost the trilogy to Juan Marquez. He lost his biggest fight of all time to Floyd Mayweather for fighter of the generation. So even he didn't win his legacy fights. The best of the best is guys that play defense. Manny Pacquiao was taking some L's. Unquestionable L's, too. L's that he shouldn't have taken. Even more recent times, he lost some fights. He didn't even look good in this last fight that he was in. Had no damn defense. Terrence Crawford would have mopped the floor with Manny Pacquiao. Terrence Crawford got defense, and what is he? The best fighter of this generation. Canelo don't got no defense. Look, he lost his legacy fights. Earl Spence not a good defensive fighter. Look what happened to him. He got his ass beat. He got the brakes beat off him by Terrence Crawford to a point that he's not going to even ever going to be the same fighter ever again. That one loss, is like equal to 3 losses for him because he's never going to be the same fighter again. LeBron James, he probably wouldn't never had no championships if he didn't form no super teams. But all the super teams that he formed were guys that played defense and got stops. Remember, Miami didn't become a good team until they got those defensive pieces. The Shane Battiers and all them other dudes. You know? Adrian Broner ain't no defensive fighter, man. He's a wannabe Floyd Mayweather. He think he has good defense, but he don't. You know, Adrian Broner is trash. Had all that potential and didn't do nothing with it. He lost all his legacy fights. But he never had defense to begin with. He don't even let his hands go. He don't got defense or pretty much all offense. He just stand there and let you beat up on him. If you're going to be a defensive fighter, at least have some good defense. He got the brakes beat off him by a fucking oh my God, what's this dude name that beat the brakes off him? Oh, and I forget the guy's name. The Latino fighter. He fought Floyd twice. Oh my God, what is his name? I forgot his name. What was that fighter that beat the brakes off Adrian Broner so bad? Gave him a bloody lip. And to add injury to insult, he did the butt fuck symbol pause on Adrian Broner. Who the fuck was this dude, man? Hold on, let me let this dog out for a minute. Forgot the guy's name, but he beat the brakes off Adrian Broner. That was the beginning of the end. No. Adrian Broner lost to Sean Porter. Sean Porter is a solid defensive fighter. But Adrian Broner should have beat Sean Porter. You can't even beat Sean Porter. You ain't got enough defensive skills to beat Sean Porter. Like, come on, man. Adrian Broner's trash, though. So, you know, all talk. Never reached his full potential because he's busy drinking, being on the block. He just a dude that ripped boxing off. He came, got a couple millions. I ain't mad at him. He got his money. But he was never serious to boxing. He just wanted to get like 2 or 3 paychecks, make $3 million or something like that. And you know, he became a millionaire for being a mediocre boxer. You know, if he spent his money right, he could have been set for life. Yeah, dude was like Adrian Broner was making millions of dollars, went back to the hood to sell drugs and all this other shit. Became an alcoholic, drinking problem, drug problem. You fuck your shit up. You could have took all those millions of dollars from those ass whoopings that you got and just chill. Because he was a champion. He could have did the Floyd Mayweather and cherry pick some fights. You didn't even have to take fights that you know you was going to lose. He should have just won fight to fight a couple bums, got millions for it, and that was it. Because he was on his way. People wanted to see him face Floyd Mayweather. He was getting momentum to facing Floyd Mayweather. He even called Floyd out a little bit. You know, and he said, oh, that's Big Bro. I would never fight Big Bro. You know. I don't know UFC that much, so I can't even comment on that. I can't comment on that. But I'm just saying 90% of the time, people that play defense is the ones that win. And 90% of the time, people that's all offense do not win. That's a fact. Watch the team that wins the NBA championship this year. They're going to talk about how good their defense is. Why do you think Minnesota wins a lot of Anthony Edwards been knocking off people a lot in the playoffs? Because they play defense. Minnesota was one of the top defensive teams in the league. It was good enough to stop LeBron, good enough to beat KD. He beat some of the greatest basketball players because his team plays defense. If he was all offense, he would never get as far as he got. That boy been to the conference finals twice off just defense. Defense got him to the conference finals. He get another Minnesota get another piece. Anthony Edwards gonna be a problem. He did get outplayed by Shea Gilgeous-Alexander though. He did get outplayed by Shea. You know, Shea was a little more smarter because he know how to draw fouls. But I still think Anthony Edwards is probably definitely more athletic. He may be a little more skilled because Anthony Edwards don't have to do all the flopping that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander do. You said Kimbo. I think Kimbo Slice is one of them dudes that fell off though, right? I heard about him, but he was like the Mike Tyson of UFC. He got hot for a minute, then just disappeared. He start taking L's, right? If I'm not mistaken. Oh, OKC winning back to back. I don't know about that, but they may. I'm not even taking that away from Taysom. Now, you may get that. You ain't gonna get that much of an argument with me. But I will say this much: NBA teams got to start making a dynasty because if you keep letting a new person win a championship every single year, if you let somebody win a championship every single year, then guess what? Winning championships going to start losing its value because everybody's going to have them. If everybody has a championship, it's not that special no more. I'm just saying. Yeah, but Dirk may not have that much defense, but here's the thing. Dirk was on a team that played defense. Yes, they was. Dallas was one of the best defensive teams that year. They won the championship. It was enough to knock off Kobe, enough to knock off Kevin Durant, enough to knock off LeBron James, D Wade, and Chris Bosh. And they did that with stops. You don't beat some of the best players in basketball without playing defense. You think you're going to beat Kobe Bryant and don't play no defense? Beat Kevin Durant and don't play no defense? That was one of the best defensive league teams in the league. Half-court defense, they got stops. They had what's the center that was on there? I forget the dude that looked like a fucking lion or something like that. Oh my God, I forgot the guy's name. But Dallas Mavericks was a good defensive team. Dallas Mavericks had some good defense. You know, Dirk ain't the best defensive player, but he had some dogs around him. He had some dogs around him that played defense. Hey, Tyson Chandler. There you go. Tyson Chandler, yeah. You know, they had some enforcers, man. They had some stoppers. And defense got them a championship. Because if it was just all scoring, Dirk would not been able to outscore the big three. Dirk would not been able to outscore Kevin Durant. Dirk would not been able to outscore Kobe Bryant. They beat those guys off defense. And Dirk is 7 foot tall. Dirk could get some defense. No, he ain't the best defensive player in the world, but Dirk could play some defense at 7 foot tall. You're going to play defense at 7 foot tall by default. All you had to do is put Dirk on the guy that's smaller than him, half court. He'd give that guy some problems because the guy has to shoot over a 7 footer. Yeah, it was Dirk's. Yeah, that was true. But that team was good defensively too. Don't get it twisted. They had Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, one of the best defensive point guards. Jason Kidd has always been a good defensive point guard. He's a smart defensive point guard too. Dallas Mavericks had defense. They had stops. They put clamps on people. And it's LeBron James. He barely could score. He went cold turkey in the finals because that defense had him shook. They set good traps. You know, they got busy. Dallas got busy. Give the Dallas all the respect in the world, man. They beat some of the best players to play basketball. That's not something to be annoyed. Yeah, that would have been something. That would have been fun to watch. Lakers versus Miami Heat. That'd have been something. That'd have been something. But keep in mind, that was Kobe's third. That would have been Kobe's fourth time being in the NBA Finals, right? Because he went 2008, 2009, 2010, 2020, 2011. He would have been in the NBA Finals 4 times, you know. So he would have had some mileage on him. But Kobe being the guy that Kobe is, I don't think he would allow himself to lose. Because LeBron James would not have done that. LeBron James would not have had a good championship series against Kobe Bryant. Because Kobe Bryant's a better defensive basketball player than LeBron James. Kobe Bryant would have had LeBron James shook. LeBron James would have been even more scared if Kobe was in the finals. All Kobe would have to deal with is Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Because those would have been the only 2 guys to show up. LeBron would have still disappeared in 2011 finals. Playing against Kobe, he definitely would have disappeared. Kobe would have got in his air, talked that shit. It'd have been even worse. It'd have been worse. And if LeBron is out the picture, Lakers win the championship. Lakers win the championship. You got good defensive pieces. You got Ron up on there. Ron Artest would have had a second championship. Mess around. But I think the Lakers was a little bit beat up. They're a little bit beat up. That year, I believe. But they still would have beat the Miami Heat, though. They would have beat that big 3 Miami Heat, in my opinion. Because you got history, got to stay this the way it is. LeBron James was destined to have a bad 2011 finals, right? So if he was destined to have a bad 2011 finals, then that means he would have choked even against Kobe. And if LeBron is out the picture, it's just D Wade and Chris Bosh versus Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. And I'm taking Kobe Bryant. And if you listen to a D Wade interview, Dwayne Wade said the main reason why he wanted to play with LeBron was because Kobe was winning championships. And he said, I got to put a stop to this. I can't have Kobe out here winning the championship. He said he got pissed off when he seen Kobe Bryant running with the ball and, celebrating and being happy because he won the championship. He said, "Nah, I got to put an end to this." No, D Wade was about to go to the Chicago Bulls and play with D Rose. Now, if he went to the Chicago Bulls to play with D Rose, and let's just say Chris Bosh came, let's take LeBron out the picture. Let's just say it's Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh on the Chicago Bulls with Derrick Rose 2011. They beat the Lakers. That team beats the Lakers without a doubt. That team beats the Lakers because that team had too much dogs. They got too much guys that don't take shit. Nobody will be choking on that team. Now, I can guarantee you that nobody choking on that team. Now, if you want to add more injury to it, if LeBron James and Dwayne Wade went to Chicago Bulls, and let's just say Chris Bosh is not in the mix, oh my God, they still win it. I think they win the championship. But keep in mind, Derrick Rose was not a superstar. Derrick Rose wasn't even really an all-star. He wasn't even having a breakthrough season yet. So if you put him on that same team with LeBron, you got Derrick Rose for cheap. You got a star on a rise for cheap. But Derrick Rose stats wouldn't been Derrick Rose. LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade on the Chicago Bulls. You could still have Derrick Rose on that team, but Derrick Rose would not been the Derrick Rose that you know. He would not been MVP Derrick Rose because he had to live in the shadow of all three of them guys. You think LeBron James is going to let Derrick Rose get stats over him? And to prove my point even more, Michael Beasley said he was on the Miami Heat and he was playing so good at the time. LeBron James came to him and said, "Hey, if you keep playing like this, the rest of us ain't going to get our stats." So that shows you LeBron James is stat driven. He wanted Michael Beasley to sit on the bench so he could get his stats. So that means his stats was more important than the Miami Heat winning games. Because if Michael Beasley was helping you win games, he took the pressure off you, LeBron. Why would you want him to be less than what he is just so you could have good stats? He could have gave you a break half the whole year and you could have been pumped up for the postseason. You could say, "Hey, Michael Beasley, do your thing in the regular season, but the postseason is mine." That's what you could have said. Didn't know that, huh? Y'all didn't know that. Yo, Chi-Town, what up with your Bears? Your Bears doing better than my Eagles, I might say. As of right now, we lost 2 games in a row. Yeah, Baker Mayfield winning MVP. Everybody got that right now. I mean, he is an MVP candidate. Yo, did you hear what he said about Mike Vick? Did you thought it was a diss? I couldn't help it but think that he was dissing Michael Vick. Do they got some type of beef? Oh, Buccaneers, Bills. Man, I don't believe the Bills. I only believe Buffalo in the regular season. I think Buffalo's a good regular season team, but I got to see it to believe it. I don't believe in Buffalo in the postseason. Okay, he was at the podium, and they asked him like, "Are you surprised that your name is mentioned in the same sentence with Michael Vick?" And he was like, "Hopefully my name doesn't get mentioned with his name ever again in the same sentence." And at first I thought it was like he's paying homage or some respect to Michael Vick. Then I thought about it. I said, maybe he dissing Michael Vick. I don't know. So that got me to thinking, did those two have some run-in or something like that? I don't know. Is there something I don't know? I don't know. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But if they're mentioning his name in a football sense, that whole dogfighting stuff shouldn't even come into play. Let's just keep it sports. That's a off the field issue that shouldn't interfere with us talking about the sport itself. So yeah. But as of right now, what I am watching, you may ask, I am watching One Punch Man. One Punch Man is back. It's a Japanese anime. I'm watching that. I'm watching Peacemaker because I heard this is the last season of Peacemaker. They're not going to renew it. So I'm watching Peacemaker. I'm watching a show called Evasion. There's so many shows on, it's hard to keep up with, but I'm trying to watch all of them. Well, it should be, if it's something football related, it should be all good. If a running back got mentioned in the same sentence with O.J. Simpson, just from a football perspective, it should have been different, you should have just been like, OJ was a good player, blah, blah, blah. And hey, it's, whatever. But I wouldn't feel personal if it's all football. I know how to separate personal stuff from professional stuff. If we're talking football, then we're talking football. If we're talking basketball, we're talking basketball. Let's just keep it on the field or the court. Yeah, I saw the Demon Slayer movie. That was pretty good. Demon Slayer is pretty good, but I'm more of a One Punch Man. One Punch Man is my favorite. I got a little gripes with it though. I saw the first episode of season 3. I don't like the animation a little bit. It stays a little too still. They can have a little more emotion to it, And the first episode was a little laxer for me. It was a good build up, but for a first episode, and you haven't had a season 3. We've been waiting for season 3 of One Punch Man for years. You could have came in with a little bit guns blazing for your first episode, But I mean, it is what it is. So it's okay. Hopefully, episode 2 for season 3 will be much better. But yo, we got some good stuff coming, man. Good stuff coming this year. And for a hip hop perspective, check out that Mobb Deep album. You got a good album on your hands, man. You don't get no better than that. One of the best albums of the year. But with that being said, we are out. I was going to be here for an hour. I have hit my limit of being here for an hour. We talked all about the topics. So yeah, out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Let me hit my outro. It's time to, I got to play my outro a little bit. God damn it. Where's my outro? So I always end my live streams with my outro.